Generally, nothing really goes how you plan it. If you're doing push-ups, if you're going to the gym, if you're reading, if you're meditating, ain't no way you're gonna be the same person. Going to real events is a cheat code for you to build your relationship bag, but then for you also to do business. You can get there by paying, or you could just be somebody that just knows how to work a room.
Welcome back, everyone. It's another episode of Wealthy Creator. I'm your host, Justin Berry, and today I got a special guest in the building. Got my guy, Brendan Boyd. What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm excited, bro. I literally just got off the road, bro.
Off the road?
Yeah, you told me to pull it up. I pulled up.
He pulled up on me after one conversation, y'all, man. Like, again, we're going to jump into a lot of stuff today. You're going to learn a lot about content and strategy. You're going to learn a lot about his journey, a lot about some of the things, his wins and his losses. Yeah. You're going to find out why he got these shades on his face.
Those are called wins and learnings.
And learnings, okay.
Learnings, yeah.
I like that. But you're going to figure out why he got his shades on, chatting with me inside the building. I know y'all probably thinking, who is this guy? But yeah, I'm going to get straight into it, man. Tell me, man, what's with the shades, man? I want to see your eyes when I talk to you.
Bro, you don't know about these?
Tell me about them.
Bro, these are the Meta Ray-Bans.
Okay.
And these are Generation 2. So, obviously they're sunglasses. But, yeah. Bro, do you know what you can do with these?
Tell me, man. I'm curious.
So, I mean, I'm recording right now. So, I'm recording you right now. I'm recording me talking to you in first person. So, you can see my hands move, right? Or I can see it once I bounce that video down. But it records in POV. It takes pictures. You can listen to audio text messages, audiobooks, music. You can IG Live with them. And if all else fails and the technology dies, bro, they still sunglasses.
Man, you talking about the creator's tool right there, bro.
And they record audio super crisp. The video and the audio quality on here is super crispy. Hold on, let me. I'm gonna record again real quick. Uh-huh. And then they download to the phone like super quick.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. It's funny, man. I knew what they were, but I wanted the people to hear what they were because there's something happening in the space and in the world right now with technology.
Yeah. And
everybody's intentions now is to create products for the creator. This is the Wealthy Creator Podcast. We're talking to a bunch of creators. We're talking to a bunch of entrepreneurs. And I think when you have opportunities like these shades.
Yo, Ray-Ban, come here, check, bro.
Yeah, I know. It was not an ad. He was not paid to say it. But opportunities like these that are coming along that help streamline the process of content creation. Mm-hmm. It's stuff that people should be interested in and wanting to know more about.
Well, can I tell you something?
Go for it.
So, what's it, 2023?
2023.
I don't know when this episode dropping, so maybe it's 2024, 2023, whatever. It wasn't until 2018, not that long ago, is when I first realized that I was a creator.
Okay.
Before then, I didn't fancy myself. I didn't categorize myself as somebody that was creative or a creator. So my background, I had 10 years in the fashion industry. Mm-hmm. And my business partner, to me, he was a creator, because he designed all the clothes, creative direction, aesthetics, everything that had to do with visuals, presentation. Mm-hmm. That was him. I handled business, marketing, seeding, business development, hiring.
Yeah.
Our internship program. Reaching out to athletes. We did collabs. We had a collab with Colette, which was a renowned fashion boutique in Paris. They closed in 2018, actually, or 2017, 2018.
Okay.
We did a collab with Mountain Dew.
Okay.
We did a BMX bike collab. You know what I mean? Big Sean was part of our first campaign.
Sean?
Big Sean, yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we had Sean, Wiz Khalifa, like all these artists and stuff, they would wear products. I mean, some of the biggest ones, if you look at the photos that I got, you'd be like, yo, no way.
Yeah.
Because they all look so different right now.
Wow.
So Kendrick used to wear product all the time. Wiz Khalifa, Chris Brown, with Chance the Rapper. Mm-hmm. What's homeboy's name from Atlanta? My guy, Gambino.
Okay.
So all these people, Justin Bieber, they used to wear the brand. It was called Society Original Products. But like I was the one that did that. Okay. Like all the seeding, like all those relationships.
Yeah. So
even giving the product in clothes.
Okay.
I mean, in stores.
Yeah. Getting it in stores too.
But to me, that wasn't creating. I didn't look at myself that way.
Wow. That's interesting. Because I think, I think the term creative has changed through time, right?
It definitely has, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like creative used to be the artsy kind of individual who, you know, kind of they've built their branding, I would say, even though they don't consider it a brand, they've built it on being different and outside the box.
Yeah.
Right. And now that term is being used just for anyone who kind of creates something that can be tied to a brand or creates a brand that can be exposed to a mass majority of people that get some type of traction.
Yeah.
Right. So the definition kind of has changed. What I see in a creative is an individual that makes a way for himself through his idea generation.
Yeah. But you know, God gave us that ability. We're all creators.
It's a gift.
Yeah. Like
I tell people
as human beings, like we're here to create.
Yeah.
Everything in this room has been someone's ideation that became into realization.
1000%. Yeah. And you know, I teach that in the Wealthy Creator Program, and we're gonna jump into some stuff that you're doing as well. But I wanna touch on that point of you not seeing yourself as a creative.
Yeah.
Because at some point, for you to be able to see those things and have that collaboration with these artists, with these other celebrities, you had to get kind of creative somewhere.
I had to get creative.
Tell me how you did it.
Like even meeting Lupe Fiasco, I remember. So we had this shirt back in the day called Effin' Good Nerd. So it was like,
I remember that.
So it had Lupe on it. It had Pharrell on it, like their faces.
Yep.
And it had Kanye on it.
Yep.
So Effin' Good Nerd, right? And I found out that Lupe was doing a show in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what concert or who else was on it, but got on a bus, Chinatown bus from Boston to New York, took the bus up there, got to the concert, and he was coming off stage. And I had t-shirts on me, and I just threw it at him, and he caught it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I met him.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of interesting strategies, man. Like Twitter was really big back then. Like Twitter, you could connect with almost anyone. Back then, I mean, you still can. Now it's a little different. But like, if there was a manager or a founder of a brand, A&R or something, you could literally message them and they would get back to you. So that's how I met a lot of people. And then in other instances, like kind of still like now, like where we at? So we at this event. You and I are doing, you know, this podcast, but you have an actual event going on right now. Who's here? Ryan's here. There's other people here.
Right.
So if I just came for the event, that means I had an opportunity to connect with Ryan or these other people. So like going to real events is a cheat code for you to build your relationship bag, but then for you also to do business. And I feel like a lot of people miss out on that. Like if you're a podcaster and you want to interview people, one of the easiest ways for you to interview people is just go to events.
Go to an event.
Right? And a lot of people don't realize that as a podcaster, you're media. So that means you can also get to a lot of events for free. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's Vegas Weekend F1. There's a boxing match as well.
Yep.
Now, it's not going to be 10 for 10 that you're always going to get these credentials because always people in media that got higher credentials than you.
Right.
But if you submit yourself as media, you may get the call to go to the event, or if it's just a smaller event, you just build a relationship with the events people, and then when they have a larger level of events, you can go. But and when you're a podcaster, that's your media.
Yeah, and
you make it happen.
To make that point too, what I have found is that when you arrive as kind of media, and you start to go to these events and get in person, you start seeing the same people.
Definitely,
you start seeing the same coordinators. You start seeing the same host and the promoters. It's some of the same people that are kind of running that industry, especially for bigger events. I'm seeing like I have the pleasure of working with Ryan shoulder to shoulder on his content, and so I attend a lot of these events that even he has to speak at. And I'm telling you, from the beginning of this year to now today, when we show up to events, I usually know a lot of the individuals that are just from being behind the scenes.
Yeah, facts.
And so there's never a question, and it gives me that opportunity to connect. Right? Like this podcast is probably happening because me and Wayne connected at an event called Limitless in Utah just recently. It was our first time actually having the opportunity to talk for a longer period of time. And I was like, yeah, dude, like, you know, let's connect and let's collaborate on who we have on these podcasts because I'm trying to get high level and more people on mine. Yeah. I know you're doing the same thing with what you're trying to build. And so it's been great to kind of have that opportunity, but that is how it happens. It happens by one, attending the event, but two, getting in the rooms, especially if you can get to that backstage or those areas that are kind of exclusive to a certain group of people.
Now, there's two ways to get there.
Come on, talk about
you
it.
can get there by paying, which is
Yeah.
probably the easiest way that you can get there without any restrictions.
Yeah.
Right? Or you could just be somebody that just knows how to work a room.
Yeah.
There used to be an individual that was part of our clothing company. He just knew how to work rooms. So he would just find himself in the grandest of places, just because you act like you supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And that still works.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of play around with both. You know what I mean? Recently, the dude Art Atlanta,
Okay.
Art Atlanta,
Yeah, I
he
know
was
you're
talking about how he got his, I guess he made a large scale art of like Drake and his son.
Mm-hmm.
So how we got that, it was because he basically acted like he was supposed to be at the event. So security was asking him, what you doing with this big piece of art? And he's like, Drake's dad told me to surprise him.
Yeah.
Right. So he just was presenting himself like he was supposed to be there, and that opened up an opportunity for him.
Yeah.
So if you leverage kind of both, like, I'm gonna pay for the VIP ticket, the platinum, the gold, you back there. And you're there with other people that made the same investment. So if they spent 2, 5, 10, whatever, you spent it, that's something that can happen there, right? And I would even invest in getting all of those relationships, not even necessarily the main person that's probably putting the event on. I mean, you're gonna run into that person too, but everyone that made that investment are probably people that you should be thinking about building with, collaborating with, maybe have a JV, or just build that roster of relationships. And then just act like you're supposed to be there.
Like you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
It's as simple as investing into getting better company.
Yeah.
Right? Like keeping high level
agree.
people around you and getting in those rooms is what the investment should really be about. I'm interested to hear more of your story, but I just love the start of that because I have met so many people. I've had relationships with so many people that have started in that clothing industry when it came to business. And so it's always interesting to hear the different ways people kind of gotten their pieces onto, higher level individuals to be able to market. But you're on the business side, right? And like you just spoke to your creativity. Tell me some of the, some of the things that you kind of experienced and that kind of stuck with you to teach you how to do your business today.
That's a really good question. I would say my first years in entrepreneurship, they were like, it was a wild, wild west, man. Like, there was no coaches, no mentors. I wasn't reading no books on nothing that I felt that I need, because I didn't know what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
I was just moving based on feeling and impulse. Oh, I feel like we need this, so we need to get this. Oh, they got that. We don't have that. That's working for them. I guess we might need to see if that's gonna work for us. It was more so like that. And it boded well because we were successful, but we're very disorganized. You know what I mean? No real cadence, no flow. We grew, but we didn't grow as a business. It was just like we were growing and now we have to manage more, know? I think Mike Michalowicz in the book Profits First, he talks about like not taming the business, so then the business becomes the Frankenstein monster that takes over you. And that's kind of what it was, so not having structure, organization, management in place, essentially we just ended up imploding. However, prior to that, like just the growth of the company, it was like super organic.
Yeah.
And it was just how it's supposed to be, man. Like, we started off just selling T-shirts out the trunk of my car, driving around the city of Boston, pulling up to the hoods, the crowds, the people, popping the trunk, people buying T-shirts. And then we got into our first retail, I think it's probably like 2007, something like that, in New York. So first we try to get into, and this is also to not, I don't want to discourage anyone, or actually I want to encourage. So like, if, I feel like if you got a brand, you should be online.
Right.
In my opinion. Right. But there's still some cachet for brands like, they want that luster of going into a store and a customer purchasing it. Mm-hmm. So especially if you're a new brand, if you find a store that makes the most sense and then they don't want your brand, like, don't even worry about that. Because the same thing happened to us. I'm pretty sure it happens to a lot of people. So especially in our local city, there was a shop. And we were so excited, right? Because we figured out what a line sheet was. So like, all right, cool. We got the presentation right. Let's just go in there and see what we can do.
Yeah.
I think our minimums was like 12 pieces a unit, which was super light.
Right.
Went in there, had samples, had the line sheets, went through everything. And then the buyer was just like, yeah, these is cool. But like, y'all need to go to New York and if it bubbles, then come back and then we might buy something.
Yeah.
So like back then it was like, damn, it's like,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's
like I just put a lot
yeah,
of
like
effort into
you know,
this.
so we did it. So we went to New York. We ended up finding two companies that would take some orders.
Yeah.
We actually got you know, some other boutiques in different states that would take orders, and we were selling online. So I think we had like 4 or 5 stores at that point. Then we came back. And then they put in a little order, you know what I mean? But it was cool to get to that point.
That's interesting. Like, let me ask you too, because I think, you know, everybody listening, everybody watching this needs to understand that you all didn't take that critique and like go be like, nah, they're wrong about this. You took it and you went to New York and figured out and did exactly what they said.
He said go to New York, went to New York. I didn't question him. I was just like, we going to New York.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot to be said about that, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs in their business right now, one, aren't coachable.
Yeah.
One, not willing to learn. They know everything. Or they're not taking the proper steps and getting the right mentors to actually teach them what to do. Right? And so I think it's a very easy thing to do to go find the wrong mentor as well.
Yeah.
Right. And so
sometimes you gotta just do stuff and figure it out.
You gotta just figure
because that don't, I mean, a mentor's not wrong if they got success.
Right.
But every mentor's methods aren't necessarily going to work for you, but that doesn't mean they're wrong.
It's not wrong though. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That means everything might not just work for you.
Yeah.
Per se.
Yeah. And you have to be able to recognize that too.
Yeah, you gotta have some discernment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so you know, it's a lot to be said, and you know,
but you also got to A/B test long enough before your discernment kicks in. You talking about this ain't working.
Yeah, that's the thing too. People don't give the testing period enough time. But
and that's interesting, right? Because how long does it take you to be from a child to become an adult?
Right.
It takes 18, 25, sometimes 30 years, right?
Yeah, some of them still working on it.
That's
40
what I'm
years
saying.
old.
So you start a business and then you do one thing and it don't work, and then you like, this ain't working. It's like, bro, this has been a week.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
And the same could be said for your content strategy.
Definitely.
Right? Like I tell people all the time, like, well, they're like, yeah, I see you all are doing the kind of like the PNG image on Instagram and then swiping over to the reel. Is there a strategy behind it? I'm like, yes. I mean, I tried that. It didn't work. Go, well, how long did you do it? I only got like 1 or 2 posts like that.
It's not even enough to get a sample size.
Like, what are you talking about,
Yeah.
right? Like, and it's just true. Like, they abandon things before it actually, you know, can see it through and see if it works. But yeah, but going back to your story, man, like I really do, you know, I tip my hat to anybody that takes some type of critique.
Can I get a hat tip?
Oh, come on, bro. But, you know, it's anybody that can take critique and then take that back and have an action plan afterwards is powerful, and usually, you know, setting themselves up for some type of success.
I mean, bro, he wasn't wrong. He just gave us some life.
Yeah.
And life is gonna life.
Yeah, 1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I could have came in here like, you know, I came in here and, you know, it's been love. Open the door. People's in the, you know, in the lobby, met some people, came to the front, you pulled up, we here.
Yeah.
But there could have been some obstacles.
Right.
You could have not picked up your phone. You know what I'm saying? The doors could have been locked.
Yeah.
Right? And I still would have had to figure it out because it looks like I'm in the right place. So now what do I got to do? Right? And sometimes life is like that. Like, you could be in the right place at the right time and it still don't go your way.
Yeah.
You know, or you could be at the right place at the right time and something pops up and it's like, oh, wow, this is a unicorn. Or you could be at the right place in the right time and it just goes how you think. But generally, nothing really goes how you plan it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just not your time.
100%, yeah.
Right? Like, it's, you know, whatever your plan is, God has a different plan for you. You got to just wait and be obedient.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a thing. Tell me how you made the transition from the clothing space to the space that you're in now.
Yeah. So from clothing to the space I'm in now, there was another transition. I'll call it like a juxtaposition physically. You know what I mean? So when I got out of clothing, you know, me and my business partner, we just had we had some disagreement. And I wasn't burnt out. I was just more so frustrated. So out of frustration, I don't want to have nothing to do with fashion. You know, so an identity that I developed at that decade in my life, most people knew me from being with a brand, being the face of the brand, stuff like that. And I wanted to sustain the lifestyle that I had. I was, you know, it was pretty good. So it's like, I prayed. I'm like, yo, what can I get into that I can still be an entrepreneur still, maintain my level of lifestyle and have some room to grow. And I remember being in my 1-bedroom apartment in Boston. And I just woke up, got my phone, scrolled on the emails, and then I seen one email pop up on Groupon, and it said real estate, like real estate license. And I had seen it before. My favorite game is Monopoly.
Okay.
But this time it was just, I seen it was a little bit different.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the price. I think it was like, it might have been like $199 or something. It was cheap. It was on Groupon, so it was like price was slashed.
Yeah.
And I remember like not having the money for it at the time. But I also remember having 3 pair of sneakers in my closet that I just got. I had two pair of Kobe 10s.
Okay.
They was like $250 or something.
Yeah.
And I had a pair of I think Jordan 6.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The infrared joints.
Okay. Oh, infrared.
Right? And I'm like, I'm about to sell these because I didn't wear them. Right?
Yeah.
They were just in there. So I basically just returned the shoes, got the money back, and then I invested in real estate, classes to get my real estate license. So in Boston, you can get it pretty quick. So the class was done to have my license in like 3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like Boston, it's way different from California.
Yeah.
California could take 6-9 months.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I had it 3 weeks. And one of my friends had a brokerage. It was a boutique brokerage. Shout out to Jason and Matt. And then while I was learning, they already had the systems. So they basically gave me my first client. Like I had a client that wanted to do it. I didn't know how to put a deal together. So they allowed me to work on it through them. Okay. So I got a chance to see it, and they gave me like 25% of the commission.
Nice.
So that was cool, right?
Yeah,
the first deal done like as soon as I got the license and everything. So I was in that space for like 7 years, and ultimately I got licensed in California when I moved, and I had dual license. And everything was cool, making $20, $30 a month, just helping people buy homes and sell homes. But after a while, bro, I'm like, I don't see myself doing this till like 60, 70. I ain't trying to be like an old realtor.
Yeah.
Right? So I had another pocket in my mind, like, there gotta be something else, right? I gotta be able to make money faster and like enjoy what I'm doing still. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know what that was, right? So this was during that first year, being in California, right during like COVID time. I moved in 2019. COVID happened like around then. You got the whole 2020 going crazy.
Yep.
But I just started investing in like mentorship, like buying programs, courses, like testing things, learning about digital products.
Yeah. And by this point, you had already kind of understood that you needed that. Right? Like you've had some experience in business already that didn't quite work out the way you wanted to. And you were like, all right, I need to get around and learn from the individuals that are already doing what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Or can help me get to where I'm trying to go.
Yo, and it's so crazy, right? Because I remember like my first coaching program that I bought was a program that helped me learn like the basics of coaching. It was just like how to coach.
How to coach,
right?
Okay.
Psychology and stuff.
Right.
So I was like $1,000. It was $2,000. She had on sale for $1,000. I had never spent $1,000 on anything like that before.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really no hesitation, but I was like, damn, like, okay. But I was already making like $15,000 to $2,000 from like a mini program that I was testing. It's really like I packaged up my morning routine.
Okay.
And I was like, because it worked for me. So I'm like, if you do this in the next 30 days, like you're gonna be a different person. And I was super confident because I know like if you're doing push-ups, if you're going to the gym, if you're reading, if you're meditating, if you're writing your goals down, if you're reciting your goals, if you're drinking water every day, you got an accountability partner. Ain't no way you're gonna be the same person.
Right.
So I was hella confident in it.
Yeah.
So it was easy for me to invest at $1,000 because I was making 15 to 3 from this thing that I just was like, I think I'm just gonna do this, right? Then after that, it was just I got in this other program was $5K, and I remember like, damn, I don't got $5,000. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I did a payment plan.
Yeah.
But I'm sharing this. I'm sharing this the way I'm sharing it because after a while, it's like once you kind of go through those phases, and then you're on the other side of them with your own products and services, or you're investing on that next level, you're like, yeah, this 5,000 ain't nothing. Oh, it's only 1,000? Okay, bang, let me one pay this. Or this is 30K? Okay, cool. Because like you can never go further than what you've experienced. Right. So I can't buy nothing for 30 if I invest 30. Right. I can't confidently say, yeah, it's only gonna be 30,000 or 50,000 or 10K or something if I didn't make those investments.
Yeah, it's different when you feel it yourself. Right?
100%.
Like, you invest 30, like, okay, 40 don't sound too bad now. If I want to get this for 40,
100%.
Especially because usually with a good investment, you make that return so fast.
And that's the thing. And the cheat code to it is like knowing that the money's gonna be parked, right? But you can always make your money back over and over and over and over and over. So I don't know how much the Wealthy Creator Program is.
It's about Wealthy Creator right now. You can get a lifetime membership, $3K.
All right, boom. So if I invest $3K now, not only do I have the opportunity to learn the information, but that information can continue to make me money.
Yeah.
So if anyone's on the fence about thinking about joining Wealthy Creator, I'd spend the money.
Yeah.
Because even if you don't have confidence in yourself, if you just go through the steps, you're going to be able to get the money back. And you're going to learn a skill that you're not going to forget. And the skill is monetizable. And you still have the information.
You still have it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's really like when people are weighing like spending money on investment, that's how I pay attention to it, right? So like if you're going to buy, let's say you're going to buy a chain or something, or if you're going to buy a bag or maybe an expensive outfit, that money's not necessarily going to make you money unless you understand marketing and you can leverage that.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, people aren't doing that, right? They're just like, I need that bag, I need these jeans, I want this outfit, whatever the case, I want this chain.
Yeah.
But if there was a program on how to make some jeans or how to, sell chains or whatever the information, how to market these products and services, you can forever make that money back and you have this skill. And guess what? There's other people that would like to learn that skill. You could package that up and monetize that and you can make money forever.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit of my story, right? Like I've always been behind the camera. I've been the creator that is usually the one filming the product, right? Like it was never a situation where I was in front of the camera speaking, definitely didn't have a podcast. I would never even put out my own content, right? And then I quickly was like, okay, people are asking me so many questions about how I've been able to help manage the content side of things for Ryan Pineda. And then I had Ryan Pineda up in front of thousands of people saying, yeah, this is my guy. This is my producer. He's helped me do these things. Our real estate business he's helped my real estate business earn over $50 million. He's helped me get over 1 billion views. He's helped me. Once you start looking at it, then I'm like, oh man, like I didn't look at it like that because where I'm from, I'm thinking of it as a service. I'm a servant to what it is we're trying to build, right? I'm more bought in on what our belief system and our company culture is versus me trying to think, oh, I'm the one doing it, right? Hearing him say it, I'm like, oh yeah. So then I'm like, hey, Ryan, what if we taught people the same thing that we are learning, right? And then the process began as that. And so everybody is essentially an expert at what they're doing. There's just levels to it.
Yeah.
But their expertise is super useful for somebody out there. And when you're
100%.
talking about millions and billions of people on these platforms, you already have a way of doing it. It is just about creating, your brand. Speaking of creating your brand, tell me, I reviewed your content. I was looking through it when I was kind of doing my little research. Fire stuff, obviously, man. Like,
appreciate you.
I know you're seeing success with what you're doing on your pages. And then before the pod started, we talked about names, right? Like Justin Berry is a name that I'm like, all right, you can speak to that name. Everybody kind of super basic. Brendan Boyd, you said, man, I'm thinking about changing my name.
Yeah, thinking about changing it.
Tell me about that though, because as I look at, I see Brendan Boyd now, and I'm getting to know you as we've had conversations. But I looked at you when I looked online. It's just Brendan Boyd, the brand.
Yeah.
So tell me what you are thinking about with the name change and the branding.
So the reason why I'm considering changing my name is because I don't really have an identity to my name, right? So when I say that, it can even go back to like, our lineage. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know my family's culture. I don't know where we're from. I mean, I've done 23andMe. It's telling me I got Nigerian descent, Scottish descent, Irish descent. Cool, right? So if we're going to trace it back to potentially slavery, at some point, our family name was lost. Yeah. It was cut off, right? And if our family was purchased by slaves and we got their last name, and that ain't the last name I necessarily want because it's not even my history. I don't know what the history is. And then during like studying like family legacy and like, where we may be from. So if you're from Africa, like whatever your descent is, like families had like, they had crests, they had creeds, they had colors, they had like beliefs, they had ideology. So think about this. If your family's like if your family's core values were, work hard, take care of someone else like you would take care of yourself, build wealth, whatever your core values are, right? When you go to life, you're not gonna make any decisions that's gonna go against the core values because this is what your family stand for. You're gonna be, like shaming the name, shaming the crest, shaming the colors, shaming the creed.
Yeah.
You're not doing that, right? Because then you gotta go home and see your family, right?
Right.
And it's like it's different consequences.
Yeah.
In America, it ain't like that because we ain't got no real values unless you coming from a family that's instilling values.
All right.
So since I don't have a crest, creed, colors, core values, I'm like, okay, I want to make that for my family in the future.
Okay.
Right? So then I'm thinking about, okay, well, names normally meant something. So if we watching like Gladiator movies, or even if we're watching what's the joint on HBO? The
which one?
Games of Thrones.
Oh, Games of Thrones. Yeah.
Watching movies like that, like those families had those things.
Yeah.
Like the names meant something.
It,
You know what I'm saying? Like they meant things. So it just made me think about, okay, cool. Like I'm here, I got one goal. We all got one goal in our life.
That's it.
So for me to be intentional, I can be very intentional and recreate what I believe is a true essence for what I want the foundation of my family moving forward to stand on.
Yeah.
And then just attach that to the name.
Right.
Right. And then teach my, future wife, children, this is us, this is what we stand for, and when we go in the world, this is these are our foundation, our core values.
Yeah.
I've seen crests, I'm like, oh man, that's dope. Like a friend of mine wore like his family like colors and like a pendant on a wedding.
Yeah.
Like that's hard. You know what I'm saying? You got your crest, you got your creed, you got your colors. You know what I'm saying? It tells a story. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna stand out. I don't know if you ever seen like family jewelry. I mean, that was a thing, was passed down.
Yeah.
Like your great grandmoms or grandpas, they would pass these things down, and then you would have it, bestowed onto you, and then it would just carry on like tradition. So that's kind of like what where it kind of came from.
No, I get it, man. I can totally relate because I always say like, my last name's Barry. It was probably B.A. at one time.
Yeah.
Right? And then when we got free, they probably changed it just to disconnect from that name.
Might have been Johnson, fam.
It could have.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But I'm pretty sure, Barry, like the fruit wasn't a thing. So it was just, it's always interesting. And it is something that I often think about as far as heritage. In fact, I'll tell a quick story. In the last year and a half or so, 2 years, I've developed a close relationship with a friend. She's best friends with my wife. And as a result, me and her are really close. And she's Egyptian. And so she's born here. So like there's still that generation difference. She's the first gen. But the information that she's able to talk about and tell me about is so intriguing to me. So not too long ago, I got an opportunity to sit with her mom. And that's where I'm sorry if I'm asking you a lot of questions. I was like, but I'm so intrigued by your history and everything that you know about it because I don't get that. I don't.
Bro,
get
we
to
disconnected. I remember having conversations with my elders.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, where we from? And they just like, yo, we black from the South. I'm like, yo, that's not a place.
That's it.
That's not a people, and that's not a place. Where are we at? Like, who are we? Where are we from? But that would be the universal answer.
That's it.
But that's just a starting place.
Yeah, man. It's extremely interesting, man. Like I love that. And I look forward to what you come up with.
Yeah,
honestly,
2024, bro.
Seeing that journey, man. Because
I just think about having to change everything.
Yeah, I know. and too, let's go there. Like let's go and let's talk about that a little bit because you have created a brand for yourself, and you have raised brand awareness on your platforms. How do you feel would be the best strategies to make that transition?
It's interesting, right? Because like right now, I could say and be like, "Yo, that could be that now could be a whole stage name. That could be a whole persona."
Yeah,
I could in some ways I can now be more private.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or I could just go all in with the whole rebrand. Like let's say Meta World Peace. Right. He changed everything.
Yeah.
Even seeing Meta World Peace on the back of a jersey at that time was almost Harlem Globetrotter-ish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was almost fantasy.
Yeah.
It's like, different.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
for sure.
So it's like I can go that route too. So I think just on my journey as I'm discovering more about like this identity and like, you know, what I'm really going to commit to, I think it's gonna start revealing yourself. But I think either one could work. I mean, Jamie Foxx's name ain't even Jamie. That's his persona.
Right.
But I mean, he's able to, you know, you can kind of fade back from that.
Yeah, he has that separation. That's been the history of actors for years.
That's what I'm saying.
The stage name is still the stage name. I have a really good friend that I grew up with who is an actor out now. I don't know if you know Renelle Nicole. She acts in like she's done some of everything, all of the Chicago PDs and all that.
Okay.
She's done a lot. But I knew her as Renelle Daniels, right?
Okay.
And so watching her evolution and transition to being an actor and realizing like, oh yeah, that is a way of detaching yourself so that you can have that own privacy still for yourself and be, you know, authentic in a way that most people wouldn't know you, where just your close people would know you. It's like having a nickname almost.
100%.
So it's really good. And I think it's good to note that you can still build a strong brand in that form. Tell me something. I got a question. Let's get into some strategy here.
Yeah.
Do you think an individual that has a brand as well as a personal brand, you think those are separate? So like I got individuals who are entrepreneurs and they're like, here's my business page and here's my personal page.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for me, I'm like, no. Like you don't have a business page. You are the brand.
100%.
Right? Tell me what your thoughts are on that and what, you know, kind of strategies and tips would you give an individual that's kind of contemplating the two?
Yeah. So I'm of your belief. I feel like there was a time where like there was some exclusion, you know, but I think people want you now. I think now is the time now is the personal brand information age. And I think that's what's going to separate you. You know, like if you're a realtor, but you're also a dog walker, that's interesting. So I'll give you an example. So I got a friend out here, he's a realtor, but he's also like an avid golfer. Right?
Okay.
I feel like I see him on a golf range more than I see him on the house.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you should grow your brand. He on a golf range. So I'm like, you know, I mean, you doing this a lot.
Right.
So I said to him, like, bro, and he got a podcast. I'm like, bro, why don't you, when you sell a house, give these people like a golf, like 18 holes with you or 9 holes with you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You sell the house. Give them like a golf club or whatever, you know, like you can even do a wholesale. Give them a set of golf clubs or something.
Yeah.
And then give them 9 holes with you.
Right.
Now you could say, hey, listen, I'm with Jamie, or Jamie could be like, hey, listen, I just closed a house, and his name is Gage. He's gonna be watching this. So Gage, this is for you.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to Gage. This is Jamie, and I'm with my realtor, Gage. We're doing 9 holes today. He just helped me sell my house. And I was able to get 50 over asking, right? Or it could be like, hey, what's going on? This is Mike. I'm with my realtor, Gage. We just hit the range today, and he helped me buy my first house with an FHA. Bro, do you know how crazy that would go?
Yeah, dude.
The only realtor, probably in the state of Nevada, right? That, because everybody golf out here, but he'd probably be the only one, if not the only one, that would gift his clients with some type of golf package that is then ingratiated with content that can then sell in perpetuity to get him more clients.
Get more clients.
What buyer or potential seller wouldn't want the golfing realtor to sell their house?
Yeah, and it's just a part of taking what you would be doing anyway.
You're gonna do it anyway.
And making it a part of your
100%.
brand.
Don't have to be exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, so like here's a good example. Ryan months ago, maybe a year ago now, over a year, started golfing and getting really serious about it. Right, he wanted to really be good. He's that type of competitor, and very quickly he became a professional golfer.
All right,
and by that, what I'm referring to is that you can right now book a golf with Ryan.
Yeah.
Pay to golf with him. He'll spend the day with you and mastermind with you at the end.
Yeah,
that's
an offer,
dude. People were. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Like every week, it's a group of people that pay to go golf with him, right? And it's like, yeah. But I understood it because I was like, yeah, you wouldn't get him still alone and focused any other day.
Yeah.
Because he's shaking and moving and he's doing everything within the businesses.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's genius, right? Like he gets to do what he loves to do and have fun with.
And get paid.
And he gets paid.
Spend time with people.
And you get to get any type of consulting that you need.
And you get the content.
And the content.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. Right?
Super
like
win.
you can look at his page right now. There's golf clips going out because it is an opportunity to not only get the content that we need to be able to push and promote and do things, but also him gets to, that's his enjoyable time. Like that's what he actually wants to do.
I don't think anyone, well, there's two thoughts I have now. Number one is I don't think anyone should even consider separating the brand. Like you need to just go all in on you.
Yeah.
Right? Second thing I got on a higher level, if you're an athlete, especially with NIL, if you're an athlete on any level, especially professional.
Yeah.
But on any level, you know how strong your brand is. You can have that brand outside of your professional sport, but still connect the sport.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like once Austin Rivers? Not Austin Rivers. What's homeboy from Austin Reeves. Right?
Lakers.
So once he started going crazy for the Lakers, he started getting brand deals. Right? So I seen him, I think it's an insurance company, but I see him in the billboards back in LA. Right? He's on there with the Lakers colors, but no logo, whatever.
Right.
And I'm looking at the billboard, I'm like, yo, this don't even make sense. Like, I don't even understand what they selling, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you could be the 15th player on an NBA team right now, and you don't need to be the number one player. You don't even got to get in the game.
Nope.
Right? You have the stamping of the National Basketball Association or NHL or MLB or NFL, whatever the case is. You guys can now use this brand equity, right? Because you're borrowing off that brand, right? So you leverage off that brand with your position. You can go out and make deals happen today.
Yeah.
Right? Even for creators, one of my favorite things to do, and I've done it before, and I'm doing more of it, is like hotels, restaurants, right? You know how easy it is for you to get free food and free stays by just creating content and then have them pay you? So let's say you're into like, I don't know, you like steak. Or Italian food, or like I'm vegan, but whatever you like to do.
Yeah.
You can have a VA make a list of all the restaurants, right, in your city, right? Put a script together. You can go out, do one for free, so you have some content, and then just pitch them. Say, hey, listen, I do food reviews. You get posted on my YouTube, my social media. You get 3-4 pieces of content, $400.
Yeah.
Free food. I review it. You pay me $400. We can collaborate. And boom, you do 5 of those, it's $2,500.
Yeah. And then what happens is the brand start reaching out to you.
The brand will start reaching out to you. And now when you plan your trips, guess what? Hey, listen, I'm going to be in Vegas, next week or next month. You can start planning and reaching out to them reaching out to them on purpose in the future, right?
Yeah.
So you can say, hey, listen, start planning. I'm coming out here. This is what we got going on. Check out my YouTube. I've done these 10 restaurants, or I've done these hotels.
Yeah.
I would love to come do one for you.
I mean, Keith Lee is a prime example of that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everything he touches now goes crazy. Right? He goes into a restaurant, says he likes it, that restaurant sells crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, so they're looking for that, right?
100%.
And I think now businesses that are like brick and mortar especially are understanding the power of that more now than ever.
And athletes they can go crazy with that.
They can go crazy. It's one of those things, dude, like, when people try to say, how can I monetize, man? I need to be, like, I'm paying for all this content, but I'm not necessarily seeing a return. And by return, what they're referring to, they're not referring to like their actual return on what they're exposed to and how many views they're getting. They're actually talking about their return on what they're spending.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, there's a few ways that you should be monetizing earlier. You just spoke to one. Because some of these places you don't need to have thousands and hundreds of thousands of followers.
You don't need it at all.
To be able to get a deal with them. Like, they need the promotion. And again, if you got locals and you're local to your city and you got 200 people locally following you that do support you and follow you well, they will take that 200 to come to their restaurant. Believe me, right? And so it's about how you go about approaching and negotiating. But the other way is like affiliating.
100%.
Right? Figuring out affiliates. Yeah. Right? Tell me about those strategies to monetize, and how would you tell a beginner to do it very quickly?
So, like, if you're a podcaster, because that's mostly the audience I'm speaking to about monetization, but if you're a podcaster, there's tons of ways you can monetize. The first way I would say definitely is affiliates. Because with affiliates, you don't got to fulfill nothing. You don't got to sell nothing. You don't got to deliver nothing, right? The creator or the brand, the entrepreneur has already done that. All you got to do is register. And if you're a podcaster, the easiest thing for you to do, and I actually have one myself, and I also tell podcasters to create one or just leverage one. But if you do commercials and just put the commercials in your podcast, every time you edit the podcast, now you have all these different episodes that you weren't going to use anyway. But now they have a commercial in there that's promoting an affiliate product. And there's a lot of them like ADP that does payroll. They're giving $1,000 affiliate out. So like CRMs, they're giving recurring revenue affiliates out, right? You could lock in with different entrepreneurs or whatever. There's tons of different ways that you can leverage.
Bro, most of the time you just got to look at what softwares you're using, things that you use on your daily in your business.
Yes.
Go to their website. Websites and just look up their affiliate.
Even these, they have one. Now it's not the best one,
right?
But they have one. Yeah. And then if you take it a step further and then just go to Amazon, everyone, first of all, this is a cheat code for those that don't know. All right. So everybody needs to have an Amazon Associates account, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So if you got an Amazon Associates account, you should now buy from your own Associates accounts because you're going to get a percentage of that money back. Right? If anyone in your family is buying from Amazon, just send them your link because it doesn't matter if they're going to get these Ray-Bans or if they're going to get some toilet tissue or whatever. They're still going to, like, you can send them a book. They don't get the book. They get a camera. You still getting paid.
Still getting paid.
Right? But if you're going to Amazon and they're going to Amazon, but they're just going to Amazon.com and not through one of your links, you losing out on potential money.
Right.
But with these are sold on Amazon too. So if I send you the link and say, hey, just grab these for that means I'm going to get paid. So any product, service, even digital asset that's sold on Amazon, everyone needs an associate because that's a lightweight, easy way for you to start getting some money back through affiliate.
Exactly.
You know, another one of my favorites is just community, right? So you talked about early how, if you don't have a large audience, maybe just 200 people, let's say you have just about that plus minus that's rocking with your podcast. Cool. Think about going on an airplane. So on an airplane, there's like economy, which has a lot of seats, third row, right? Babies is crying, right? You got to stand in line to get to the bathroom. You press the button, you waiting for the flight attendant to come to you. Or you pay a little bit more, right? Or a lot more premium. First class. Get on first, get off first, smaller seats, right? Only 2 people, no middle seat. Bed, pillow, blanket, headphones, right? TV, all of that. Food, right? You might see the captain, right? All of that. But a smaller group of people are willing to pay that. So out of that 200, there's probably 10%, 15% of people that want to pay for another level of experience for your podcast.
Right.
So by not having that experience, you're losing out on recurring revenue. Maybe that's $49 a month, $69 a month. I mean, David Shands is showing you that with the social proof, right? He has over 400 people paying, somewhere between $79 and $99 to be part of his morning meetup. You know what I mean? So you can create the same type of environment for your podcast and start off with 10, 20 people. But if you got 10, 20 people paying you $49 a month, $69, $99 a month, now your podcast is monetizable. I mean, you're talking anywhere that could be $12K to $24,000 or more from a podcast with not a lot of views, not a lot of subscribers, and you had no idea how to monetize it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I mean, you got to get creative.
100%.
Goes back to that, right? Like you got to figure out what makes most sense to your time and your money, and then what makes most sense to your business.
Yeah.
Right? And through figuring that out, you will come up with a way. I can promise you. You will come up with a way to figure out how to make money right away. If not, we can help you at Wealthy Creator. Brendan can help you get what you need. Like there's ways of doing it effectively. Sometimes finding that individual to tell you, all right, man, look, this is what I need. This is what I have. This is what I can, and this is the capital that I have to spend. Tell me what I should do with this. Should I do this or should I do that? And from that point, a plan could be developed. We also have something in Potato Media called the brand blueprint.
Okay.
And what this blueprint does is it takes what you already have created for yourself, if anything. They also can take the individual that hasn't created anything and create a brand kit for you, create a podcast cover for you, can give you strategy on what you should be filming, what you should be talking about, can help you and collaborate with you to find guests, right? Like these are all pieces that this brand blueprint does for you, right? But what's most intriguing about, or what's most, to me, valuable about this brand blueprint is that no matter what, if you have the idea and already operating as a brand or you don't, you at the very least will get that skill level up increase highly because of how we can kind of hone in on what it is specifically you're trying to aim towards. A lot of people just don't start with the end goal in mind.
Yeah.
Right? How important is it for you to reverse engineer every step that you're doing now as you continue to scale and grow your business?
It's super important, man. You got to have an idea of what the finish line is or what you're going towards. So if you don't know that, you can't reverse engineer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no way you could say, hey, you know what? I want these sneakers to have these amount of eyelets for you to then go back and figure out how to create an eyelet and then how to put that amount of eyelets on here.
Yeah.
And then what you need to have to meet a certain deliverability.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It just goes back to math. So the math isn't going to lie to you. So if you know like for instance, if you know that you want to make 100K in a certain amount of time, you just do the math.
Right.
But you gotta have your products and services.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, cool. If I have $1,000 product and I want to make 100K, well, how many of this product do I need to sell per month, per week, per day,
mm-hmm.
and then do the math with how many activities is it gonna take based off your percentage of closing for me to meet that goal per day, per week, per month.
Mm.
Yep. And then I think like books like 10X is easier than 2X.
Mm-hmm.
Books like, I know I mentioned it earlier, but Profits First.
Profits First, yep.
Books like $100 Million Leads. Even like the 1 Minute Millionaire, books like that will help you start thinking differently.
Yeah.
So like the easiest thing would be for you to do something that's regular, and that would be your 2X.
Mm-hmm.
But it may take a little bit more brain power. It may take a little bit more of you being in the right environment, mastermind with some people, maybe spend a little bit of money for you to come up with a 10X idea for that same thing that you was going to do to produce a 2X result.
Yep.
That'll just give you, that 10X result.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of like what I think about. Like, there's other businesses and things I want to create, but I'm also like, all right, cool. How can I get this result without having to do this? For instance, if I was starting a business, I wouldn't necessarily start a business. I'm going to buy the business.
Yeah.
Cody Sanchez is saying, yo, listen, buy the business.
Yeah.
My guy, Business Builder Bees, is talking about buy a business.
Yep.
Right? So if the business is already profitable, it's already moving, or if the baby boomers are moving out, and, part of Cody's steps are website, marketing, social media presence, raise the price, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Creative financing, right? That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily have to be like, okay, cool, let me get the logo. What's the idea? Let me hire. You don't got to do it like that.
Yeah,
it's like this. That's a 10X move. Yeah, that's a 10X move.
Exactly.
Versus the 2X.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cody's great, man. I've had the pleasure of being in rooms with her and talking to her. And she's another one that, like, she just understands it, right? Like, her big thing is, I buy boring businesses, right? Like, but she just understands that even that if it's boring, it's still profitable.
100%.
Right? And I was on stage yesterday, and one of the things I spoke about, because I
was on stage here?
Yeah, so I did a whole presentation on biggest mistakes
I didn't get the
creators.
invite for that, by the way.
Oh, man, come on, bro.
I'm going to just let y'all know, I didn't get that invite.
Oh, don't do that. Look, just so everybody knows, we'll be doing an event, a workshop in person once a month.
Okay.
4-day workshop, 2-day workshop, depending on what brand it is. So there'll be plenty of opportunities doing it. And in fact,
I'll be back. We're
gonna collaborate on some stuff too, man.
Yeah.
So Wealthy Creators, put in the comments too if you want to see him as on a coaching call with you. You can get to dive deeper, man. So it'll be great. But I was on stage and I listed off 10 biggest mistakes that creators make. And that was one of them. And one of them was thinking that your topic or your concept, your idea, your business is boring.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's one of those things, and Cody got to understand that really quick, that you can call it boring or whatever you want, but look at the profit. Right? And so that should be what is exposed. She exposes what the profit was and how she got to that point.
Yeah.
Teaching people and educating people on how to do it. So they're just great ideas, right? Like, and then there's bad ideas that can be made great content, right?
Yeah, facts.
So it's really interesting to kind of hear you say that, but it's definitely true, man. It's definitely true. Start with that end goal in mind, figure out who your audience is, and then just start creating.
Yeah.
And in that process, you will start to hone that skill. You will start to figure it out. it's gonna be absolutely awesome. I can't wait to see your evolution, man. Final question for you, bro, just so we can I want to respect your time and don't hold you too long. What do you see for the future of social media? What changes are you expecting? What are you expecting new platforms? What are you expecting changes with platforms that everybody currently uses? Obviously, these platforms weren't optimized for businesses originally.
Yeah.
But I think they've shifted and evolved to make creators be able to make a lot of money on these platforms. So tell me, what's some things that you're seeing, 2024 and on up?
Well, I just seen that Instagram just released a new update, or it's coming down the pipeline, where you can start A/B testing content.
Mm-hmm.
You can start A/B testing covers.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have another opportunity for you to make money on a platform. So what's not going away is these platforms want you to be off the platform.
Right.
That's number one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think what may be going away is the idea that you should not be using them. I think now more people might even be slowly starting to, spend more attention to actually going on these platforms. I think there's always going to be some new platform that's going to come up. There's going to be some in 2024.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw the emergence of Clubhouse, so there's going to be another something like that.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm even getting better at it, but I think if you're paying attention to what type of content is winning, can I recreate that? Is it in my niche? Can I remix it to my niche?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna understand how you can now shift to get attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
So number one, these platforms are always gonna want to keep you on the platforms. Two, they're gonna want you to have an audience on the platform, which means you have to start learning how to get attention on them even more.
Mm-hmm.
But then also pay attention to what's working, right? Because at one point TikTok was super hot, right? So meaning they were letting more things go viral, right? Because they wanted people on that platform. So I think if you start paying attention to, okay, what's Instagram doing? What are they highlighting? So right now, right? They were rolling out recently Live Producer on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that don't know what Live Producer is, Live Producer allows you to stream on Instagram, right? Which means that's a new feature that they want people to use. And if you use that feature, they're going to reward you for using the feature.
Yep.
So start paying attention to what platforms are highlighting certain features or new features on those platforms, and you're going to be rewarded for them. And then start making content.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, start making content.
Just get started.
And it's interesting because the platforms are free. You can make as much as you want, right? You can do your value, your call to actions, tell your story, break things down. And people still don't spend the time to do it, right? So if you're paying attention, if you're a wealthy creator yourself or a potential wealthy creator, you could start creating products that helping people with the issues that would make it easier for them to do the things that they definitely want to do.
Yeah.
So like I saw these creator cards, which I think is pretty dope.
Yeah.
So what are creator cards? Creator cards are cards that help people create content for the platforms.
That's good.
So really, it would break it down over, I think it was like 30-day period, different colors. So like value content's one color, call to actions another color, stories another color. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you just kind of mix them. But then every day you have, okay, today's story day. All right, cool. I'm gonna tell a story. Like, oh, it's a value day. I'm gonna make.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does that do? That helps someone that is afraid to make content or apprehensive or don't know what to make. That's a product that they can buy. They can buy the digital version. They could buy the physical version. But you can start looking at, okay, how can I create a product or service that can help people on these platforms so now they can do what they want to do, and then I'm able to monetize within those pockets.
Yeah. Find the need and fill it.
100%.
The bottom line. Find the need and fill it. And if you haven't started, get started. Nobody that you would listen to, any creator that has had success, if you ask them, what was the best decision you made in your business?
Getting started.
They're all going to say it.
Facts.
Right? Brandon, I appreciate you, man. Let everybody know where they can find you and support you.
Yeah, 100%. You guys can follow me on all platforms at It's Brandon Boyd. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube. We got podcast content, a lot of value content on monetizing your podcast, monetizing your brand. So definitely follow me and subscribe to me there. We have a new giveaway series coming out where every month we're going to give away some type of product. It could be an iPhone, some Meta Ray-Bans. camera, something to help you level up your content. So that's going to be rolling out. And then if you want to learn how to get more exposure for your brand or business, head over to the audiencegrowthchallenge.com. So we're doing that monthly, and that's going to help you learn how to get more exposure, like really learn how to leverage these different opportunities from podcast guesting, radio, digital PR, social media, and things like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you all will find all of those links
we'll
to
put
those
them
pages in the description. Brendan, again, thank you, man. I really appreciate you coming out and spending this time with me. It's been another episode of Wealth Creator. I'm your host, Justin Berry. Thanks for stopping in. I'll see you on the next one.